Hi guys, welcome to this week's Paint and Ramble. So this week I am going to be working on my squad of Eliminators. They're about a quarter of the way done with some base coats, so I want to try and get them finished. It's another squad done. But I did get a game in against Gene Stealer Cult again. Today is Sunday, I got it done on Wednesday. Other than that, I hadn't really been playing 40k. So I will just read you the list and kind of go through how it went. No, that's not it. Alright, so I tried using as much of the new Primaris Vanguard stuff as I could because I had a lot of it painted, so obviously I wanted to use it. So this is Primaris Vanguard Strike Force Alpha. It's that's what I call the list. It's 104 power level. I've got 1,999 points. I've got 3 CPs being battle forged, 5 CPs for a battalion, and 1 CP for a Vanguard, I think is what I have as well. Yeah, Vanguard, sorry. Okay, so the battalion is 939 points. I have a captain in Phobos armor, camo cloak, mastercrafted instigator, bolt carbine. So it's basically as they come. I also started painting him. So I had him. I had a librarian in Phobos armor who has not got any further on. 3 troops. I had the 10-man infiltrator squad. I had 5 for 230 points. Okay, sorry, I'll start again. Captain of Phobos armor is 119 points. Librarian is 111 points. Infiltrator squad, I gave him the Helix Adept, the Sergeant, and then there was 8 normal guys. That came in at 230 points. Intercessor squad, which is the standard loadout I run, auxiliary grenade launcher on the Sergeant, and there's 5 of them in total for 85 points. 10-man tac squad, Sergeant with a power sword, combi grav. I had a heavy bolter and a plasma gun for 168 points. And then to finish off the battalion, I had a Battle Predator with twin assault cannon and 2 heavy bolters, and then the Eliminator squad. So the Battle Predator was 154 points, and the Eliminator squad was 72, so it's just standard. Then I had a Vanguard attachment, so 2 HQs. One of them was Captain Slamgunius, so Artisan of War, Jump Pack, Storm Shield, Angel's Wing, Relic, Jump Pack, Thunderhammer, all that kind of stuff, and then pay a CP to start a game to make him deck company. He was 124 points, and then the Lieutenant in Phobos armor, Grav Shoot, Mastercrafted, Oculus Bolt Rifle is 86 points. So the 3 elites I took was 3 aggressors with the Flamestorm gauntlets for 108 points, a Death Company Dreadnought which I've not used in 8th edition. I gave him a pair of Furioso Fists, a Magna Grapple, Melt-A-Gun and Storm Bolter for 141 points. Standard 4 Sanguinary Guard, gave him the Death Mask upgrade. There was a Power Fist, an Axe and 2 swords for 149 points. Fast Attack was a Suppressor squad, so 2 Suppressors and a Suppressor Sergeant for 105 points. The Heavy Support was 5 Hellblasters with the Rapid Fire Hellblaster for 165 points. There was a Sergeant in that squad, so 4 and a Sergeant. And then finally a Last Cannon Predator with a twin Last Cannon sponsors and a Storm Bolter for 182 points. So that was the list. I came up against a mad Gene Stealer list which was outrageously hard to defeat again. I didn't get first turn, I was going second. So I deployed in objectives and stuff like that. These guys actually done okay. The problem I found was I was trying to kill a Broodlord. Yeah, not the Patriarch. Is it the Patriarch? I was trying to kill the Patriarch with these guys, but they're only strength 4 and he's like toughness 7, so I wasn't wounding them. But they did take out a couple of smaller dudes. The captain was good at taking out small guys with his bolt gun. I'm gonna get paint out and maybe start painting. It's probably a good thing to do instead of just sitting here talking. Deployed a bit better this time. I was deploying the Lieutenant in Phobos armor in and I think the suppressors as well in Deep Strike Reserve, because they can, and I actually took them out of it because if I had done that, he would have had full access to my back lines, and after the last game I think it's fair to say I didn't want that happening a second time. So what happened was I deployed in such a way that he had enough space to get one 32mm base on, and that was it. That was the only area he could get in on my back line. So that kind of helped. So he had to kind of come on a bit further away from my guys, and I think it was the captain he has a rule where basically you can't deep strike within 12 inches of him, and someone else had it as well. It could have been the infiltrators had it as well. And I deployed the infiltrators out of my deployment zone and objective. They weren't far out of my deployment zone, but it still helped. So he charged in with the intercessor. No, he charged into the infiltrators with gene stealers. He actually failed with the broodlord or the patriarch on the charge, which was a bit of a bummer for him, but not for me, if that makes sense, because his patriarch is just an animal in combat. I can't kill it, and he gives it the amulet of the void worm, I think is what it's called. So it basically means that he can't be overwatched. So I don't really enjoy that, to be honest with you, because he charged his gene stealers, what was it, into the infiltrators, that's what it was, and he didn't charge into the aggressors, so I didn't get to do the fire twice because I was standing still on the auto hitting overwatch, which I think is probably smart. I think he done that on purpose so that I didn't get to overwatch with all that stuff, but it was a bit of a bummer for me because I wanted to do it. I didn't kill the broodlord. The broodlord and the gene stealers slowly and methodically chewed their way through my army. They lifted the infiltrators turn 1. I got a couple of rapid fire bolt gun shots off, that was it. Didn't do anything to actually hinder them in a large scale. Later on I charged in with the Primaris Vanguard Lieutenant, charged in with the Death Company Dread. I don't know what way the rulings worked on it, but there was a wall, there was a gene stealer behind the wall, there was a gene stealer in front of the wall, and then the Dead Company Dreadnought was in combat with the gene stealer that wasn't behind the wall. So I went with the aggressors first, I think. They charged or something like that, and he took the casualties away so that my Dreadnought didn't get to fight, and he then progressively chewed the Dreadnought to bits with the gene stealers, which was very upsetting. But like, if you look back through that list, like, there were so many bodies and so many people firing shots constantly that made absolutely no difference because it did not affect him at all. I think he had like a brigade and a battalion or a brigade and a vanguard or something like that. That's how much stuff he brought. Last Cannon Predator was on the right hand flank. That got taken out by a squad of hybrids with Rending Claws. They completely chewed through it. I think it took them 2 turns because they had a rock saw or rock cutter or something in there as well. So that bite didn't last too long. Here on my dude. The Rending Claws and the Gene Stealers just chewed through the Dreadnought. Slam Captain went over, killed some guys in combat, and was left in the open so that the Jackal Alphas and 2 Ridge Runners with mining lasers could basically just wipe Slam Gwinius off because he was the closest target, which was a downfall on my behalf. What else happened? I didn't even do well on scenario because I think the objective I deployed the infiltrators on was, say, objective number 2, and I had drawn score objective 2, which was grand, so I deployed them on that thinking if I can seize the initiative, I'll get a point to start the game. He lifted the infiltrators in one turn, so it meant that wasn't happening, and then I had to slowly try and work my way back towards getting that objective, but I couldn't shoot through the amount of gene stealers that he had. The Brood Lord, he had the Clamavis, I think it is, the speaker guy, coming up behind them. He was moving up with his 2 squads of Brood Brothers in that direction as well. So by the end of the game, what I think I had killed was 2 units of Brood Brothers. The Sanguinary Guard helped take out a lot of them. I killed a unit of hybrids on the right hand side. I think I killed a unit of neophytes on the right hand side as well, with combined shooting from the intercessors, the tac squad. There was something else, it could have been the captain as well, just going into combat and stuff. But that was all I killed, and he left me with, if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen the picture, there was 2 of these Eliminators and the captain in Phobos armour left on the landing pad. Was it. So I did fare out a little bit better this time. I brought a ridiculous amount of shots, but what I think I done wrong was the suppressors. I kept firing into the Broodlord and missing. Like, I just couldn't wound them with my rolls. I also think I messed up with moving them one of the turns to try and make the Broodlord closer, and if I had checked the measurement on it first, I would have realised that he wasn't actually going to be the closest target, so I wouldn't have been able to hit him, and it would have saved me suffering the -1 penalty on them. So that was another big thing. But I think if I think it was a Magos or something as well, he ended up getting up the board, had he can take 2 Warlord traits, and it had the Void Worm Warlord trait or something. Basically I couldn't overwatch the Broodlord, Patriarch, whatever you want to call it, and this little guy who had a claw and poison blade or something like that. I can't remember what he had, it was Wednesday, so it was a couple of days ago. But just thinking back over it now, I think the best option for me going against Gene Stealer Cult now is, I'm not going to bother bringing the last Cannon Predator. I'll take the 2 Ball Predators and I'll just focus fire down all his infantry, because it seems to be the infantry that is doing most of the work. Just thinking back over it, like, it was a squad of infiltrating hybrids, Acolyte hybrids I think it was, that got in and killed the last Cannon Predator, and there was a squad of neophytes there doing damage because they had a mining laser that they could fire. That kind of stuff. I think it's the fact that the HQs for the Gene Stealer Cult back the troops up so much that it makes them, like, it dials them up to 11. So if you don't have that to dial up to 11, you're not going to be as effective. You know, you're still going to be pretty good, because they are pretty good. But it mightn't be as bad if I do it that way. So the Baal Predator with the twin assault cannon and the heavy bolters chewed through a unit of Brood Brothers. I think it left like 3 of them or something like that. And some shooting from the suppressors, the Eliminators, the captain, and maybe the heavy bolter from the tac squad, I think lifted the other squad. Excuse me. So, and I think it's going to be, because these guys only have strength 4 snipers, like, it's not great for taking out tougher targets, but like the heavy one, or there's the frag round. So if I'm firing 3 frag rounds into a unit of toughness 3 Brood Brothers, I'm going to be doing some damage, and it's the same with the neophytes. I think they're toughness 3 as well. So what I think I'm actually going to start doing is focus firing down large blobs of dudes that he is buffing up with his characters instead of going after the characters. But if there was an opportunity, say, for me to charge the Broodlord with Captain Slamguinius, I would. There was one of them where I there was a stage where I tried to use, I think it's Forlorn Fury is the stratagem. It's 3 CPs, or no, it's 2 CPs, and I tried to use another stratagem with it that gave my character an extra D3 attacks, and I was trying to use it on the Librarian in combat. But Genestealer Cult have a stratagem that denies your stratagem, and on a 1, I think it doesn't go off but you don't get your points back. On a 2 to 5 it doesn't go off but you don't spend your command points, and on a 6 you get to do it anyway. So I dropped 3 command points, tried to do it, and he played his one and stopped me doing it, so I didn't get to attack the Broodlord again in combat with my Force Sword, which was a bit of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. But Captain Sanguinius didn't get near the Broodlord, because I had to try and get an objective with him. The Genestealer Cult done fine in objectives. I think the score was like 13 to 4 or something like that. Like, they absolutely slaughtered me again. So yeah, I think maybe 2 Ball Predators, 1 Flamer, 1 auto cannon or assault cannon, and heavy bolter sponsons is the way to go. I used the Dead Company Dreadnought for the first time, didn't really get much use out of him, so I'm not going to drop him as being unusable just yet. But I think maybe taking the standard Furioso Dreadnought with the frag cannon may be a better option. I'm not sure the stats on the frag cannon. I'm sure I can load it up quick enough here and we can have a look at it. Elites. Furioso Dreadnought, 110 points. That comes with a pair of Furioso Fists. I can add a frag cannon and just give him 1 Furioso Fist. He's coming in at 130 points there. Frag cannon is only range 8, assault 2d6. Let's drop my paintbrush. Strength 6, -1 AP, 1 damage. This weapon automatically hits its target. Yeah, that's pretty good when you think about it, like. And you can give him a Furioso Fist weapon, so you can take a Heavy Flamer for 14 points or a Storm Bolter. So that's actually pretty good. So what I might do in the next game is actually try and use a Furioso Dreadnought instead of a Dead Company Dreadnought. So I only have one of the chassis for them, so I only try and use what I actually have. I was thinking about picking up a Betrayal at Calt plastic Contemptor Dreadnought and cutting them up and turning them into a Dead Company Contemptor. So I actually had a Dead Company Dreadnought, and I had access to a Dead Company and a Furioso Dreadnought. I have 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts from Conquest. Well, one of them's from Conquest, one of them's from an easy to build one. But I think I have the what was it? Assault and Black Reach. Took a second there. I think I still have the Dreadnought from that, so I could just give him a Furioso. Well, see there, that's exactly where the problem is that I only have 1 Furioso Fist. Like, I have a set of 2, but I couldn't give 1 to him. I suppose I could just convert it up, but that might be worth doing as well, is converting that up, because that way then I'd have access to a Dead Company Dreadnought and a Furioso Dreadnought. So the Furioso one could walk just in front of the, or beside even the Dead Company one, and he could do 2d6 auto hitting weapons, so you could even advance with him to get the extra range, because it's an assault weapon, so you'd suffer the -1 to hit, but it auto hits, so it's negated nearly, which might be worth doing. That's not a bad idea. So I need to look at picking up a plastic Contemptor Dreadnought now. Yeah, so other ideas for lists, I'm after getting the Blood Angels Heroes Terminator kits, so I will be looking at using them. And we'll be looking at getting to use them, because why not? It's Terminator squad, like, and they're super cool. I don't think I've ever played a Terminator squad in 8th edition, and I think it's about time I got my tactical squad painted up, seeing as they're in every list I have and they're not painted. I also need to paint up my scout squad, because that'll give me access to 4 troop. I can almost make a brigade detachments, only I don't have enough fast attack. I have 1 scout biker, you need like 2 or 3 for squad or something. No land speeder. I have 1 assault squad, and I have the suppressors are fast attack as well. So I think it'll either be 2 battalions, which might be a bit more feasible. I could take a 5-man tac squad in each. I could take a 5-man infiltrator squad in each, and I could take a scout squad and an intercessor squad, which would give me 10 command points base, up to 13 from being battle forged, which might not be a bad idea because I ran out of command points fairly early on. I think it was the bottom of 2, or my turn 2, so I was going second, so yeah, it would be bottom 2. I'd ran out of command points between rerolls, fighting again in the fight phase. There was something else as well I used. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, having 13 command points is a lot better than having 8, so it mightn't be a bad idea looking at doing that. But I will have to paint up some scouts, and if I could, I would prefer to take scouts with sniper rifles, but I don't have them, so I'm going to have to buy them too. But they will be on the long finger before I get them. Because my next big buy, I think, for the Blood Angels is going to have to be a Leviathan Dreadnought, because I just think they're so cool and I want to paint them. But if I'm buying, if my purchases are going to be going on list building, I would like to have a couple more units of stuff. I have a second unit of Sanguinary Guard that I could build up, so I could buff. This is what I was talking about to my opponent about. We were kind of talking about the game afterwards, and I was saying to him, if I could buff up the Sanguinary Guards to an 8-man unit, I think we'd be in a good spot with them, because that's without taking plasma or melta or flamer options, which I think they have all access to, or access to all of them. It'd be 8 by 2, so it'd be 16 bolter shots, minus 2 AP, 1 damage, which isn't bad, or minus 1 AP, 1 damage. So that could be something worth looking at, because if that drops into your back lines or even a flank, that's going to really soften up a target before it goes in, which would help. And especially if it's the like of Gene Stealers and stuff like that, they'd have, well, more Gene Stealer cults, neophytes and stuff, and Brew Brothers, they have like a 6-up save with that, or they don't get a save, I can't remember which it was. So you're just lifting guys for every wound you do, which is what you want. You want to be trying to clear out as much as you can, so you can get into combat with some of the stuff you need to tie up. He charged into me with a rock grinder, and he done a lot of damage with that, and or a lot of hits, and then fluffed the damage, thankfully. But the rock grinder is fairly scary, and we rolled it out. I can't remember which of the close combat weapons it is that the acolytes can take, that basically every time you roll a 4+ or something like that, or it was either a 5 or a 6 actually, you got an additional wound, or an additional mortal wound with the weapon. It could have been the rock cutter as opposed to the rock saw, and when we rolled it out, he would have actually dropped my predator, because he missed with the first attack with it. He would have dropped my predator from full health to 1 wound. He left it on 5, and that was before I even got to fire it, like. So He's done too. That is probably what I'm going to have to do, is just look at buffing out the certain units that not that I get more use out of. When I say getting use out of something, right? Hellblasters, rapid fire range, miss. Hellblasters in combat lift a unit of abominants by themselves, or aberrants, whatever they're called. My Primaris Hellblasters done better in combat than they did at shooting, and they're a shooting based unit. So figure that one out. I also have to get them painted because they definitely deserve it after they got wiped out by the Gene Stealers, and I think it left the leader on 1 wound or something like that, but they lifted the rest of the unit by themselves, which isn't bad going. So yeah, I think that's it for talking. How long have I been rambling for? 25 minutes? I think it's fair to say that's long enough for talking. These guys are more or less done. I just need to do some washes on the metallics, do some glow effects on their lenses and stuff like that, and then paint some camo cloaks, and that will be them. So that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next week's update.